Episode 15. Capítulo 15.
The Doubters.
There you go. Boom. He was just dying to do that.
We got this outside episode.
We outside. Get it. Hit him, Pat. Hit him with the Jada.
Hashtag outside episode. Like,
I'm here.
You want to know
we
where
outside.
You want to know where I'm at? You want to know where I'm at? We outside.
That meme was funny.
Hashtag outside episode.
Outdoorsy. We're trying it out. We're seeing what happens. Unless the crickets fuck it up, and then we won't do it ever again.
The weather's great.
It's nice.
I'm not even mad.
It's kind of crispy.
No, it's just the humidity's light. The mosquitoes are not awake.
Don't call them. Don't call them.
Yeah, right. What it look like, fellas? What's going on?
Chill, man. Living life.
I want to congratulate you. You know, you've been posting a little something on Instagram, keeping the channel alive, you know?
Yeah, no, it's going to get better.
We got reels now coming. Reels coming,
and we got a lot of really funny reels. I just want them to all be the same quality.
Yo, by year 6, we're going to be fucking official.
We're going to be amazing.
We're going to have the neon sign in the back.
And then we're gonna change it to the salt and pepper doubters. sounds like a flavor. Pause.
Salt and pepper doubters. Can we do salt and pepper doubters just so that it's like
that's already taken.
Fuck. If we were salt and pepper, you would be Spinderella.
JP almost lost it on that one. Hey, for what it's worth, Spinderella was the best
DJ.
looking.
Hell of a fucking DJ and beautiful. Yeah, she was adorable.
You guys are
not a salt and pepper fan?
not really.
So salt and pepper's here.
Just one song.
That song bangs.
The
by
bathroom
the way.
song.
Push it.
The bathroom song.
Yeah, push it. You're in the bathroom.
God damn, this guy. Damn. Hey.
Oh man.
Hey, we outside in the hood.
We out. Yo, they looking.
Yo, I told A-Rod was not fucking around. Kendall is the hood thug.
Nah, definitely. Yo, that's
from the hood.
There's only like, you know what happens in Kendall that's bugged out? It's that most of the crime, it's like traffic accidents, and then you'll have like an occasional shoplifting, but then like every couple of months, it's like a triple homicide. It happens every now and then.
There was a single homicide. I don't know about a triple homicide at the Devonair tire shop, whatever.
There was a homicide at the Devonair
tire.
That was like
10 years ago, bro. Where the fuck have you guys been?
Oh, this was 10 years ago, but that tells you that we're safe. We're good.
Yeah,
this happened recently.
Yeah, me too.
Yo, chill.
This wasn't on the news.
Chill. No, this was years ago.
And then right by where I live, there was the guy that got they tried to, a kid from Broward. This is like a year ago. Kid from Broward tried to rob in the ATM, and the guy had a gun on him, and he killed the kid. But the kid was like 15 years old from Broward.
Yeah.
Remember that?
At the bank, yeah.
That happened literally like around the corner from my house. Like I was actually driving home from my cousin's house.
That's where you stamped the fuck around and find out.
Oh, that was definitely a fuck around and find out.
But then you had one when I was in high school. That happened right here at the Chevron.
Which one?
One of the kids that I went to school with. I don't remember his name. He was here at the gas station, and they just bam. I think it was a stabbing.
I go to that Chevron.
Stabbing.
I go to that Chevron
stabbing,
twice a week.
Stabbing, and then I think one of his friends like felt bad, and they got him and they put him in a car.
Yeah.
And then
that was in high school.
He died on 104th on the way to Baptist.
Yeah, something like that.
You know what's crazy is that I feel like everybody
Hood stories.
has one of those stories. Like it's messed up in Kendall Lakes where I live.
I could tell you all the hood stories.
No, I probably just moved here, and I wasn't there that day. I was there the day before and the day after. This kid, this guy got slashed, and then 2 guys got slashed, and one of them died. This kid went to Braddock, and then the other guy that got slashed, and I still see him around every now and then. His name is they call him Quaz, like Quasimodo, because he kind of looks like Quasimodo.
That's a horrible nickname.
But he caught a slash, and he still has a like a scar on the back of his head. Like he got slashed here, you know. But I think 90s Kendall, it was a little more violent than current Kendall.
I feel like Kendall back then, it was like it had a point to prove.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to act like they were more ghetto than the ghetto neighborhoods.
This is very much an extension of the John Morant
Yeah, it's
conversation.
the same thing. It's the same thing.
Like the kids with the most stable households, they're the ones that wanted to commit crimes and do dumb shit. You know,
I know kids that grew up in really, really, really nice neighborhoods. Like, I don't even want to get into specifics, but those kids decided to literally, the second high school was over, to cook crack in the hood. And this is fucking Kendall.
Yeah.
Like, how did I even end up meeting someone that was cooking crack?
you guys know where I
My
went
parents failed. My parents. It's your fault.
You guys know where I went to school, and that's like such a stereotype, but it's so real that these kids, because these kids,
G-Unit.
Yeah, these kids they get whatever they want, and they never even have to ask for it. They just get everything ever. Like your first car, your M3 on BBS wheels with that Alpine pop out screen when it costs $1,000.
He said.
Said BBS
wheels,
wheels Alpine.
And then he said Alpine.
This is the 90s, guys.
And he let his Alpine play.
But
2000s.
What was it bumping new shit from?
Well, no, you were early.
No, like
you were mid 90s.
like so
Your
we're
Alpine.
talking like late 90s.
What was it bumping new shit from?
What?
Your Alpine.
My Alpine? I didn't have an Alpine. I didn't have a car until I was like 20 years old.
You didn't get the reference. I know that the Alpine play.
No, I didn't
bumping
get it.
new shit from NWA. Nah, forget
No,
it.
I didn't catch it.
Gangsta. Anyways.
But there you go.
ATV. Look at that.
The hood is hooding today.
Another one.
That's awesome.
The hood is hooding today.
I feel like, hey, guest appearance. Meek Mill will be here in about 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Meek Millie.
With like a dirt bike. A dirt bike.
Yo, he's gunning it down with 20 seconds. Gunning it. This is awesome.
But yeah, these kids would get whatever they wanted. So
Perfect example.
Yeah, they'd get whatever they wanted. So when they had free time, they would just do dumb shit. They would like literally like break into cars because they were bored, and they were like do hard street drugs because they were bored. And then like I still always remember this because you remember we didn't grow up with bottled water, right? The first year or the first years that it became popular, where people started buying bottled water, and it wasn't in every household. It was like people that had money, because it wasn't like you could get a 24 pack for $6. It was like a couple dollars a bottle. So these kids, they would get bottled water. This is like 2000, and you're like, oh man, this guy got bottled water, and then but then the kid would be acting weird, or the kid would like stumble, and I'm like, yo, what's your deal?
Bottled water was that expensive?
We're talking over 20 years ago, so it wasn't.
You don't remember? You weren't paying for water back then.
Yeah, at all.
I was only charging my neighbor $5 for gas, and then take him to high school.
Sheesh! Oh, I forgot that
full tank.
The guys, it was $5 for a full tank.
Nah, it was like $11.
Those days, I love those days.
It was like $1.07.
For the egg?
Yeah.
Man, the Integra used to cost $15 to fill up.
Yeah.
On the dirt gasoline of life.
I can't remember water that expensive.
I told my kids it was $20 with premium for the Integra. It was like $22.
But so these kids, they would go with their water bottle like this. They'd go and they'd be in class, and then the kid would be like stumbling, and I'm like, "Yo, you good?" And he's like, "This isn't water." I'm like, "What is it?" And he's like, "It's vodka." And I'm like, "But why?" Like, why do you need to go to homeroom like on vodka at 8 a.m.? It's just because he didn't have it in him to say, hey, because I have everything I want in life and I'm that bored.
Yeah, no, public school is different. I'd be like, yo, why do you have orange juice? And he would be like, I'm rolling balls. And I'm like, what? What? And squeeze my hand.
But like in school,
what? Second period.
That's how kids used to rock.
Second period. Like popping them or ecstasy back then. It wasn't Molly's,
Right.
but it was literally popping ecstasy at, I swear to God, 7 o'clock in the morning, or gel tabs. Back then, acid gel tabs. I can't even say his name because he's one of my boys.
We went to the same school.
I know you know him.
Well, I mean, I already know who you're talking
Were
about.
you guys in school when they had that? When you guys were in school when they had that?
Shout out to my boy. You know who you are.
The Killian 9, whatever.
Kill Ian?
That
That was right before me.
that was before you or after
Right
you were
before I got
during.
Before us. Those are for us.
Yo, that shit made like national headlines.
Yeah, right before I got there.
Crazy.
I used to just
Kenny was a
be
good
sad
time.
that I couldn't get the bagel in the morning.
I used to have 2 glazed donuts
Fuck,
and a
man,
Sprite
you have
for
a
breakfast.
fucking. You got the bagel with the cream cheese. Fuck, I want that.
Used to get them from Woodshop, bro.
But I'm either gonna get that or I'm gonna have lunch. So I gotta.
Woodshop and Plastics, they had the bagels and the donuts right in front of each other. It was like you went to a fucking bakery. It was awesome.
Yeah, it reminds me of freaking Tiger Direct when they used to, you know, if we'd meet sales goals and they fucking throw pizza at us all the time.
Yeah, it was like a 3rd grade party.
Was it at least like good pizza?
After a while, if you eat pizza like every Thursday and Friday, like you stop liking pizza. Like, and that's why everybody has fucking hypertension and asthma and that shit.
Planet Fitness.
Yo, I'm like, great, fucking pizza again.
But you ate it.
Of course I ate it, but
Yeah,
my
you
metabolism was still popping back then, so I could do that.
God, that was years of torture.
Yeah, but still, you got to the point where it was just like, nah, I don't want it anymore. How about you guys give me money? You know, money, cash.
I told you the story about the credit card fees.
Nah, well, I'm sure you told me, but tell us again.
Swear to God, like, this is at the time Iron Man 1 is coming out.
Is this around the same time that you pooped your pants?
This is right around the same time that I
Okay,
pooped my
alright.
pants.
Those are legendary days for you, Sergio.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Is that stick shift TSX days?
That's Stick Shift TSX days.
What episode is that story?
Who in the world has a stick shift TSX?
That shit was hard.
Like
They sold me hard. I went to go get a TL. I was ready to get a TL. And they were like, we don't have any TLs, but we got this Stick Shift TSX. And I was like, bro, let me drive that. Bang, bang, bang. I was like, all right, man.
and all the way in.
Fun. Super fun to drive.
I think you're the only person I know that's had a stick shift TSX.
You're welcome.
But that's still
Honda
kind of
Accord Euro. That's
True.
what it was labeled. But anyways, they swear to God. So anyways, I bring up Iron Man because
Episode 4.
that was
When you shit
Episode
your
4?
pants. When you shit your pants.
awesome. You could put a link in the YouTube
Yeah, put a
video.
link in the bio
Thanks.
for episode 4.
Thanks, that
with-
way everybody can
for
hear my
one of
shit
the best-
story again.
I have a reel for that. It's very funny. Like it's something that you could watch.
Let
10
him finish.
times.
I feel like the whole podcast has ADD. The whole podcast.
We're outside.
We outside.
We
But
outside.
anyways,
Credit card fees.
yes. So they announce. So they call in a meeting, and they're like, "Hey guys, you know, sales are solid, blah 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 blah. But you know, with everything in the pressing times, and I want to say this is like around 2008, 2009, where there was a crunch in the economy, but Tiger was still kicking. Like
Pumping.
electronics,
Like nothing happened.
technology was still moving.
Flash drives were $105.
Not
Stupid. Stupid.
Bro, the money they used to make on cables, that just made me sick.
It
When
was-
I got on the purchasing
Let's
side,
just
it
be
was just
$1 and they're selling it for
And
28
HDMI
bucks.
cables. HDMI cables were $60 and the cost was $3.74.
Disgusting.
Fucking drop ship from China.
And like you said, those flash drives, Jesus.
it was nuts.
Dude, right now you can get like a 2 terabyte flash drive for like $20
Yeah, I know.
these days. And back then it'd be like 4 gigs and
You
it's
get it for
50
free if
bucks.
you apply for a fucking credit card.
Bro,
But
I waited in Black Friday for them.
But anyways, so they call in this big ass meeting. Like they call in all the sales, whatever, and they're like, "Hey guys, you know, we've done research and market analysis and shit like that, and basically everything we've done, we can't do it any other way. We're gonna have to start charging you 3% on every single credit card order that you take for your customers." And we're like, bro, that's the number one form of payment. Credit cards, like, we only get like, I don't know, I can't even remember what the fuck it was. I think it was like 13% or something like
As
that
wires?
of whatever the gross was. we would get like 13% or some shit like that. And then if you sold X amount, you get bumped up to like 15% of the profit. You know,
But how are people paying for like corporate orders, B2B orders?
they would do purchase orders. A lot of people
Okay.
do purchase orders or wire transfers. They would just do that. But that's what they wanted, so that they wouldn't have to like pay any fees. So
God, talk about whoring shit, like to
So-
keep every dime.
yeah, they're like, no, we've done studies, and if we pass that to the customers, then we're gonna lose customers, and yada yada yada, and whatever. So, bro, the meeting gets out, and then it's around lunchtime. So we're like, bro, you know what? Normally we would eat in the food court, in the mall, because it was connected to a mall. We were like, bro, let's get the fuck out of here, bro. So I was like, all right, dale, I'm gonna get my keys. We go downstairs. When we go downstairs, there's a fucking trailer with 2 fucking Audi R8s. And we're like, what the fuck? And out of nowhere, another flatbed shows up with a third Audi R8. All of the brothers, each one of the brothers got an Audi R8, brand new Audi R8. And this is around the time that Iron Man came out. I hadn't even seen a fucking Audi R8 in person. And while they're
Still one of
telling
my
us,
favorite cars.
and while they're telling us that they have to do cutbacks and they got to start hitting us for profit,
They're like, y'all got to do cutbacks.
they're like, we got to do the
Not us.
delivery. We got to do. We had to do the delivery up front, bro. Like, talk about a slap in the face.
Someone's got to pay the Audi R8s.
I think we went to fucking like the Taco Bell, KFC, and cried for lunch,
Yo.
or maybe we went to like Piccadilly.
The Kintaco Hut.
Yeah, one
That-
of those exactly.
That's like when I'm telling you, I had a poor experience on the marketing side where we'd set up campaigns for fourth quarter. That's when we make all our money, and just like Black Friday extended, we make a ton of money on like cheap shit that we're charging 1,000 times cost. And we're making millions on millions in a recession, right? And then I'm like, and so you do a handshake deal, which is something I learned at 24 years old. Don't ever do a fucking handshake deal because it doesn't mean shit. So your boss gives you a shit salary, but he tells you that he promises you that you're gonna make X amount of dollars, based on how the campaigns go. You bust your ass, you work crazy hours. The campaign is a crazy success. And I come in the office expecting to get, and I didn't have money at the time. So if they gave me 5 bands, I would have been like over the fucking moon, right? And that motherfucker's like, man, you killed it, man. He's like, I got something for you. Dude, he gave me like a gift card and like pizza. Like, I wanted to beat his ass.
You know
like,
what they used to give me all the time? Merch, like free shit. They used to be like, hey man, here's some new speakers for your desk. And it'd be like
free
like
shit.
a flex. And it was like a container full of shit that they got for free.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, filthy, dude.
Oh no,
it was a dirty game.
I had
dirty
like
game.
4 Surface Pros. I came up. I'm not complaining. But yeah, bro, that was de pinga. We actually remember that time we got pitted for a job against each other.
Yeah.
We were both going for a job that neither one of us got, and it ended up being a shit job anyways.
Yeah, man.
It was awesome.
Yeah, man. It's like that was like for me. That was
For
like
remote IT.
yeah. That was like you live and you learn. You live and you learn.
We got a good
Part of
happy
life.
hour out of that.
Yeah.
At the Lowe's, no, at the Delano, whatever.
Yeah. You live and you learn. Like that's like those corporate America, lessons. I call those lessons. But shit, like a company will whore you out as much as you'll let them. That's facts.
I was 22 when
Especially
I
when
started
you're
there.
young. Yeah, I was like 20. I was like 24 when I started there.
Yeah,
So super young.
good old days.
The good old days. What's good with you, JP?
Nothing much, man. Just same shit, different day. At this point, it's all just repetitive.
It all blends together.
It's all repetitive, yeah.
Don't worry, it gets worse.
That's what they say.
Sergio, you got to be a positive Capricorn. We need to flip you. Pause.
Bro. Come on. Jeez. I mean, and then the pause after the pause was perfect. Awful. You need to stop that.
You guys watch the Final Four?
Men's or women's?
I mean,
The women's was a big story this year.
I actually watched both. So,
But the men's for sure, of course, watch the U. I mean, I'm representing Miami, but
so let's talk about the men's real quick. So obviously, Florida is known for being a football state, and South Florida, we make monsters that play football. And I because
legends.
I say again,
Legends.
yeah, we make straight monsters. But because I play ball, like I've always been in tune to like basketball culture down here, and they're always been good players, but not really guys that go crazy on like the highest levels. But this year, South Florida is like not fucking around at all. Like in high school basketball, they won of the 7 classifications, they won 5 out of the 7. South Florida, so Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, like kicking ass. They do that in football. They've done
Shout
that.
out to Gardy.
Yeah, shout out to Gardy at Riviera. Yeah, they won state.
That's the homie.
At Columbus, they just won the national championship. Like they got the Boozer brothers, and they're just like mopping everybody, which is crazy. The U went to the Final Four. The U women went to the Elite Eight. I think FAU lost in the Final Four. Not St. Thomas. Nova. They won the D2 national championship. They went 36-0.
That's crazy.
Like this is all South Florida, just
Yeah.
like kicking ass, So, yeah. So the U, it was a surprise that they got so far, but I mean they had a nice team. They just lost to a better team. That's just what it was. But it's so dope that they went that far because football team's been shitty for the last couple of years. But and then the girls also did really well.
No,
but
it helps with recruiting, anyways. I mean,
for sure. No,
and everybody loves our coach.
It's great for
Larinaga is awesome.
I think they're going to get a bunch of players because of how well they did this year.
I think so too.
And they're going to lose a couple of good players as well. But so the
Plus,
women,
we can actually pay players now.
oh yeah, like it's not even frowned upon. Like
We're
everybody's
basically sponsored by Bacardi.
it's
I seen it.
No,
back in the days it was sponsored by Williamson Cadillac. Trust me when I say this. and AJ's Jewelers.
I do not know what he's talking about because I used to work there.
Huh?
Isn't that across the street from Cadillac?
Is AJ? No, AJ used to be down south. They used to be in the flea, but he's not at the flea anymore.
Used to be at the flea.
Which is the one that's right across the street from the dealership?
Jewelry?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a jewelry store by Williamson Cadillac. That's like known.
Yeah.
I don't know where AJ is now, but AJ was at the flea, the 184 flea for
Forever.
20 years.
I used to go to that place. The
Yeah,
184 Fleet.
I used to
Walk
love
in
that
there,
place.
get my music videos.
R.I.P.
For the Alpine.
R.I.P. to the 184
You
flea.
know what I used to go in there for all the time? Speaker boxes, cables.
Gold teeth.
No, relax, maybe. But anyways,
I used to go there. I used to go there for my tall tees all day. I'd get them if I'm going out that weekend. I'm getting a fresh one, and I'll drive down there to get them because they had thick quality ones. They're always $5, no tax.
I would just walk in there.
You know your girl.
And I would get the monthly mixtape of music videos.
For like $5, $10.
I think it was like $10.
Yeah.
Half of it was like porn that was dubbed.
No, those were great. The DVDs that had all the music videos, and they had good quality audio, so you could like play with your windows down and all that.
Put it on
With the
Alpine.
TVs in your car?
Yeah.
Yes,
The TVs in your car?
I didn't have TVs in my car.
Super
You guys
2002.
are ballers.
I didn't have TVs in my car. My brother did.
I had one. The In-Dash.
Yeah, an
That I
Alpine.
got from your brother.
Did you have an Alpine?
Sony?
My
Yeah.
brother had a 300 that was super fucking tacky. In-dash, headrest.
A 300 what?
Chrysler 300. When it first came out.
Shit, no, it was Kenwood. Is Kenwood the brand?
Yeah,
that
Kenwood's the brand. Yeah.
yeah. I think it was Kenwood.
I don't know what hobbies
My
were.
brother had a Chrysler 300 at one point.
With the grill?
On 22s.
Did he put the grill on it? Did he put
He
all
didn't-
grill
he
on
didn't put
it?
the grill because he had a Charger first.
Javi had a grill on it.
Pioneer. That's what it was.
Yeah, those were all the brands,
It was
and they
Pioneer.
still
I'm
make
trying
all
to-
that shit.
Gotta be thinking which one it was.
They still make all that.
Was it the one that had the dolphins flowing when it wasn't a TV?
I think so.
I don't know.
But
And the
I had a Sony Blackout that was all dope. It was black and red. I thought it
but
was cool.
we were talking about the freaking Final Four. So the
Yeah.
best player in the country, and she's fun as hell to watch. Caitlin Clark. She's
Tough.
like she plays like Steph Curry pretty much, and you don't even realize she's like 6 feet tall. So she really is like Steph Curry, and she's pulling from like the logo.
Nah, she's got moxie.
Yeah, she's nice with it. So she carried that team, and they played against LSU and they got their ass kicked because it was. I mean, they just played her well. I think that in a series, like it would be more competitive, but since college is always one and done,
Yep.
so I found this interesting that Caitlyn in the previous round, she did like, and they say it's John Cena, but it's Tony Yayo. That John Cena stole it from Tony Yayo, like the "You Can't See Me" celebration, and she did that because she had like a 40-point triple double, and she did that kind of in general, like to the not at anybody's face,
Right.
but she was going off. And if you play any sports, like you gotta kind of have to have that sort of confidence. Like
1000%.
if you're balling, like like even Steph Curry does it. Steph Curry, I love when Steph is
They
talking
all
shit.
do. That's when a player's at his best. I don't care what anybody says.
I agree, 100%. Like talk it up because
Like when LeBron is doing his fucking stomping.
100%.
When Dwayne Wade is screaming, "This is who fucking house is this?"
So they lost LSU, which was a better team, bigger team. They
Kobe with his serial killer face.
They threw a lot of the underbite. They threw a lot of bodies at Caitlyn, and nobody else really balled, and so LSU won. So LSU's best player, she has a reputation for being kind of hood, kind of loud, and she
kind of ratchet.
So she did the "Can't See Me."
I'm not racist, but she kind of ratchet.
She did the "Can't See Me," but not to the crowd or not to the team. She like ran after Caitlyn
to her fucking grill,
to her face, and was this, and ring me, and it's like to her face, and some people. Yeah, they kind of took offense. So some people said that it was poor sportsmanship and classless and all that. And black people, they said, it's if white people do it, it's all right. If black people do it, it's hood. And I don't agree. Like I
think she went too far?
I think that because she kind of ran after her, it was kind of disrespecting the player. But at the end of the day, all is fair, and in hoops, like you got your ass kicked, so she could do whatever she wants. Right. But like she literally like ran after her and like put her hand in her face, So I don't think that it's really a race thing. And I'm good with either of them doing it. It is what it is. I don't think it's that big a deal. But people are going ham, saying that
I don't think it's a race thing, bro.
But they made it a race thing.
They make everything a race thing.
They made it a race thing.
But that's the environment that we're in. Everything is a race thing. Like everything is an extreme on both sides of. Everything is one way or the other. It has to be. Like that's the way it's become.
It's so corny
when it comes to sports, though, there's always been either showboats. There's always been people that literally take the game way more fucking seriously than everybody else. Like that's part of the game. Like it has nothing to do with her being fucking ghetto.
And I also think,
she is ghetto. Like
facts.
that's not
facts.
That's not.
But do you think
that's not me saying that because I'm a white person and she's black and she's ghetto?
No, she said she's ghetto. She said she's ghetto.
Ratchet. Like you can see.
But do you think that people got angry because she just you do it once?
You can see her front.
She just
like,
kept going.
No, I think she was a little extra with the. But
do you think that's what pisses people off, or is just you think?
No.
Do you think if she would have just did one, it would have been a?
No, I think honestly, I think that the people that are on sides, they look at Caitlin Clark is the most of the time quiet, very like hands folded, in the interviews, little girl from Iowa, and what's her face is 6'3", 6'3", hanging out with John Morant with like
the
gun
belonged to her. When John Morant,
I'm just
no
devil's advocate.
No, I think that people that want to make it about a race, they're going to die on that hill.
Bro, I think people in the heat of the moment when you're so excited, some people do some stupid petty shit. And there's nothing deep about it. It's just in the moment, they're excited. Some people when they're excited, they cry. Some people when they're excited, they show off. Some people when they're excited, they want to rub it in your face. It is what it is. That happens at every single level. I don't think it has anything to do with black or white or whatever the fuck.
But they made it. But that's really what they made sides on it.
But all the time in regular games, not even national championships or championship or even fucking playoff games, in regular season NBA games, look at Brooks. They do fucking petty shit during games all the time.
And we're talking about they're two All-Americans. We're talking about
during the game telling LeBron he's this big.
yeah. We're talking about two of the best players in women's
Like, come
basketball
on.
in the championship game. So like why is it like a big deal? But like, and I'm going to say this, and some people might get upset with me, and it is what it is. But I don't believe in the idea of like defending someone just because they're your same color, your same culture, whatever. Like
Same party.
Like I don't
Your
correct.
political party.
Correct. I don't agree with
Heritage.
all Democrats. I don't agree with all Haitians. I don't agree with all black
Yeah,
people. It
1000%.
just has to make fucking sense. You know what I mean? And there's some people that they'll ride or die. It doesn't matter. Like, hey, like
Waving their flag.
Your homeboy just shot 7 people. Free my homeboy. No, put him under the jail because he's a criminal.
Your
I don't
homeboy
understand.
doesn't deserve a last meal. You're like, his victims didn't get a last meal.
And tell the family to call Dolman Law.
Yo, the plug.
Working the sponsor. That's probably gonna be the intro advertising anyways, because that's all the ads I get on YouTube every time I open up YouTube.
www.dolmanlaw.com. Holla at us.
But damn.
Yeah, man. I see that it took over like all of the talking head shows, and I'm like, yo, it didn't even make sense. Like,
Yeah, but they need something to talk about also. Like they what's been so interesting?
You know what happens?
Going
That's
on?
the thing.
Nothing. There's
Caitlyn
nothing
lost.
interesting.
She lost.
yeah,
If she won, she's the biggest fucking story in the world, and she's already a huge story for what she
she's
did
the
in the
best
tournament.
women's basketball player in the world right now.
Right now,
like
I
she
agree with
is.
you.
So,
I agree with you. But
just took
she
the L.
lost. But she lost.
Yeah, she took
Right.
the L.
But she lost. So that's the thing. If she would have won, she's literally Wheaties box.
Oh, facts.
Good Morning
Super
America,
facts.
on Breakfast Club.
Yes.
She's everywhere. She's everywhere because she beat the hood team. She's the MVP of the championship game.
Right.
Like, it's done. She's on ESPN every fucking day of the week for the next couple weeks in the summer when she's out of school. She's gonna be at college games. Like, bro.
And
I
I will say this: while I don't make everything race, and why I don't think everything is race, what you just said is 100% what would happen. Now, is the other girl, Angel Reese, or is she gonna get that same exposure? Of course she isn't.
Nah,
she's
but
a
hold on
first team All American, and
Right.
she's a first team All American.
But
And
she
she
never-
balled in that game. She had like 35 and 15.
she had a crazy game.
You know?
But this girl was the queen of the tournament,
Oh yeah,
without a
she's-
doubt. Like,
No
Yeah,
doubt.
they broke all the records. in the
She
Yeah.
tournament,
broke.
right?
If she would have had like if she won the championship, it would have been like one of the best seasons ever in basketball. Like,
yeah, no,
in
100%.
college basketball. Like,
this
she had a
is, you know what this
crazy
is? This is, not to be a fucking heat lifer or anything,
When they lost the first time.
but yeah, this is exactly what I was gonna say. You know who Caitlyn is right now? She's LeBron James, and she lost against fucking Dirk, or however you want to look at it. And no one is talking about Dirk the next day on ESPN or on the radio shows. No one is talking about Dirk at all. They're all talking about the loser. In this case, it's just the story. Again, it's just a spin on it because they couldn't find anything.
But honestly, I agree to an extent. I think, but slightly different in the sense that I think
They're
that
talking about Dirk.
No,
being
that
a gangster hood rat.
no, that LSU just on paper they had a better team. Like Iowa, they needed either Caitlyn to go stupid crazy, like extra, like drop 50, or they needed somebody else to give us 25.
3 Caitlyns.
Yeah, they needed some help.
Yeah.
Because what happened is that if you just watch the highlights of the game, Caitlyn came out crazy from
Yeah,
the
just
beginning,
by herself.
and then they adjusted because LSU has a bunch of 6'3" broads that are clapping the floor, clapping the floor. They were like, "Hold up, like we're gonna
Locking
send
it down,
2 of them
yeah.
at you," and then all of a sudden Caitlin's not getting that shot off anymore. So the whole game was different after that. So, but yeah, man, I hate that about the media now. Everything is so fucking divisive. It's never, what the actual story is about. Everything is splitting people.
That's the whole country. That's the whole state. Everybody. There's a line in the sand, and you got to pick a side. And there's no compromising. There's no middle ground. Like, I don't know. I've played poker my whole life. And at a poker table, I've always said is like a perfect little example of, the difference, the dichotomy, whatever you want to call it, of America. Like, it's just different. You get everything. You got cops. You got fucking literally hood rats. You got all kinds of people that know each other their whole lives, and everybody's at the table, and everybody's
Yeah,
no one.
you got some good stories about
And no
about
one's.
poker beef.
Oh no, I could give you all kinds of stories about poker beef. I could give you a story about one of the guys ended up being a fucking convict, like a felon that was brought in by a cop. But whatever, that's a whole other thing. This guy
Interesting.
ended up being a crazy thief, stealing cars, stealing all kinds of shit, driving around in a tow truck, just stealing whatever he wanted.
Crazy.
And he was at our poker table every weekend. But
And
yeah.
you didn't know.
But anyways, going back to what I was saying, like the majority of the country agrees with the majority of shit. It's just certain things that we disagree with, and those things the media goes crazy and literally has people fighting over stupid shit that literally doesn't affect 95% of us anyways. But they have to argue, they have to make it a big deal, they got to divide people, they got to make you think that whatever's going on is either going to be part of your life every day or it's not. The government's going to change you. Communism is coming, socialism. Bro, the dollar's going to collapse now. Every day they're trying to scare you with something else so that everybody's just pissed. And don't get me wrong, shit's hitting the fan. But, like, I don't think all this divisiveness at all is helping in any way, shape, or form.
And for me, you know what I always circle back to, and this is kind of like how I live my life. And it does it make sense? Does it like I don't know why that's like lost on like the world. Does it make fucking sense?
Because you can't. You
Like,
have to pick a side.
you know, it's like I don't. That's why the whole idea of like you default to a position because of someone's color or someone's social status or someone's money status or your political party. It just doesn't make sense. If somebody tells you something, aren't you going to process it to see if it makes sense before you say yeah? You know, and if we're talking, you know, and I don't, I don't want to talk politics, but like both sides, they wow out regularly these days. Like both sides are,
Bro, I've heard it a million. Like I literally talk to people for a living. I hear it on a daily basis. Oh well, these Republicans, these Democrats, and it's like, bro, more than half the people you know are everybody's either a Democrat or a Republican. Are you saying half the people you know are fucking crazy? Like, that's not the way it works, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Like, half the country's not trying to indoctrinate the other half. Like, it's just, but that's what sells. That's what gets clicks. That's what gets likes. That's what gets views. That's what gets whatever the fuck.
That's what gets comments because that's what
that's
people want
content.
to.
Exactly.
But-
That's what drives whatever the fuck it is. That's what's going to make it to the Google headline. That's what's going to make it to the top of your feed.
That's what's gonna make this podcast probably the most viewed one right now.
Twitter's going to.
So let's talk about what just passed. What Ron just passed.
You're talking about the abortion thing?
No.
The 6-week abortion?
No, the
We're
gun,
not ready to talk about
the
that.
gun law. The gun law.
America.
Okay, so
Because we're going. This is Florida.
Okay,
You never know what kind
okay,
of crazy law we're talking about.
Y'all are gonna
passing.
go first. Okay, so
Why?
I'm just because I want to
Crackers.
hear what you guys want to have to say. So
Crackers,
I don't
crackers.
know if Sergio you still got guns. You got guns?
At the current moment, I do not have a gun in my household.
I know JP toting and boating.
Plead the fifth.
Why?
I'm just kidding.
You know,
What are you scared of?
listen,
I'm not.
This is Florida.
I've been a licensed concealed carrier for several years. I have several guns. I don't carry on my person, like on my body every day. I usually have one in the car, have one in the house. Not because I'm a gangster, not because I expect anybody to kick the door down, but if somebody does, they're getting a hot one or several. So it is what it is. But I, you know, in getting a gun, you had to go and you know, do a background check, then you take a class, then you pay a fee, then you go to the range. They show that you won't blow your head off by getting a gun, and then you get your license. Cool. Now, what Ron DeSantis just passed is that if you can buy a gun, so if you're clear on the background check, that you don't have to have any sort of permit to carry So
Concealed.
yeah, so
You can't open carry, but you can conceal carry.
correct, conceal carry. So basically, at any given time, you could be in line to get a pub sub, and every little knucklehead could have a fucking gun on them.
They
You know?
already have it.
Nah, but
Is that what you think?
No.
Because
No, it's
you
not.
mentioned that. Is that what you think that every
don't think
wacko got
I don't-
a
I
strap
don't-
on
I don't
them?
think everyone.
I think a lot of people have concealed carry permits in the state of Florida, like a lot of people. I think those people all know the laws and follow the laws. I think all of the people that have concealed
I
carry
think that
permits,
that education is
right.
critical.
I think
It's
all
critical.
the concealed carry permit people, at least the ones that I've known my whole life, would never take a gun into a bar or someone that somewhere that serves alcohol. They wouldn't take it into
They're asking for trouble.
They wouldn't take it to a bank. They wouldn't take it into just, a school. They just wouldn't take it into. I think by lifting that law, and I get the whole bad guys have guns either way, I think a lot of good guys aren't going to know that there's somewhat restrictions, or I don't even know if the restrictions have been lifted now that
Wouldn't they
there's
just
no
put a
concealed
sign
carry?
on the window when you walk in?
And then what are you supposed to do? Go fucking tuck your gun in the bush or go back to the car? Or
Yeah.
if you were walking somewhere?
The same thing you do if you were to do it now.
I don't know.
So what do you guys think about the law? Do you guys think it's reckless? Do you guys think it's bad guys have guns anyway? Do you guys think it's not going to change shit? Like, what do you think?
I just think more people are going to carry. And I don't think that's healthy.
JP?
I don't necessarily think more people are going to carry. I mean, I'm not. For me, it's either way. I never saw things like, because I'm a person that follows the rules, So for me, it's always been like, yeah, I'm going to follow the rule. But then I look around and it's like no one around me is following the rules regardless. Like, and it's with everything.
And that's the I
That's
think a
the-
lot of
that's
people
the-
are going to have that attitude, and that's a problem. One.
I'm not saying it's not a problem. I'm just saying,
Like me personally, like the reason, going back to your first question, that you asked me if I still had a gun in the household. No. The reason why I don't have a gun in the household, and the reason why I got rid of a gun in the household, is because I have two teenage boys, or a 20-year-old and a 16-year-old boy. And my 20-year-old, when he was in his early mid-teens, he started getting like really emotional, and he would have like really big crying episodes. And I knew that there were times where he would be home alone, coming home from school, and shit like that. And I just started
gotta have
stressing.
peace of mind.
I started stressing that, and I had the gun in the safe, but that key was hidden somewhere in the house. And then it was like, all right, now I gotta have the key on me. And then it doesn't even make sense because now, like, typical fucking argument regarding gun laws, that if you're gonna have a gun in the safe because you have a family, then what happens if someone kicks in your door waving the 4-4? What the fuck do? You tell them, hold on a second, give me 2 to 3 minutes.
So I could go in the safe and get it out, the whole thing.
No, it's just not practical.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like, everybody could say, oh, in a situation you want to have a gun, but Texas already has no
Open
concealed
carry. And
They have
open carry. They could carry that shit on their
And
backpack.
For the past 4 years, statistically, Texas has had more shootings in schools, in public places, anywhere. People are shooting up fucking Walmarts. And that's a very conservative gun-toting state, which just tells you that more guns means more shootings. It doesn't matter what your fucking political party is, and it doesn't matter what your opinion is on the Second Amendment. I don't give a fuck. I'm just talking math.
Even though we're not talking about,
I'm just talking math.
But it's not a more guns thing.
What do you mean? Like me, right now, I'm inclined to buy a gun right now. Just because I think more people are going to be carrying around me in more places.
That's what I told Das. I said, even
You
though
don't feel that way?
even though
You don't
for,
think more people are just going to feel like more people are going to carry, so they're going to carry?
right.
But I've never stopped thinking that people are already carrying.
Nah. I mean, I think a lot of people carry.
I mean,
now.
I've been at Publix and someone dropped a gun in the middle of the hallway, like the aisle. And I was ran. I was like, oh, okay, interesting. I'm going to Southern Lane. I mean, literally, you're going to get bread. Boom, and I'm like, dude, how did it just fall out of your pocket? Like,
Cheddar Bob.
so
ass.
in my mind,
Cheddar Bob, for real.
I've never stopped thinking that people aren't just carrying it to begin with. So I've always just assumed, like, I mean, I guess I go into a lot of scenarios like assuming things are going to happen. And like, for example, I drive, I see a car pulling out of your neighborhood. I just
Wide-ass
assume he's going to
mirrors.
take it.
Wide ass mirrors.
Yeah, wide mirrors. I just assume he's going to run the thing, right? So I have to. I'm already thinking defensively.
You just see him in his peripheral.
I just always
AI
think
mirrors.
defensively. You know, I just think defensively all the time. So I go places and I just assume I see someone walking around somewhere with like a bag. I'm like, okay, there's something in the bag.
So you know what my main problem is.
I don't-
is with it.
I just think it's less safe.
So my main problem is with it. So mind you, what they require you to do to get a permit isn't extensive, but at least you literally have to go and be able to fucking shoot straight before the instructor says, okay, he's good, right? So the fact that have you ever been around someone handling a gun that doesn't know how to handle a gun?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
dangerous as fuck.
They think it's a toy. Like they don't
They'll
know it.
squeeze the trigger the second they get it.
Correct. They put their hands straight on the trigger. They don't check if it's loaded. They don't check if there's one in the head. Nothing.
They grab
right?
it like that, and they all want to cock it
And
the
they're-
same way.
and
which
they're
is just
pointing
gonna
it at
rip
you 'cause,
all the
like-
skin off their finger.
They're pointing at you because they think they're fucking John Wick.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's the part. Like, like I'm not gonna say who, but there you go.
Crickets are raping or calling
So
cricket ass.
so I'm not gonna say who, but somebody I know that who was former military, who had a lot of years of gun experience, but didn't have a gun for many years. He because he was bored in COVID, he bought a couple guns, and I was like, okay, gun collector, And then he comes down, and I go to see him when COVID kind of lifted, and he's like, oh, let me show you my new pieces, and he hands me kind of like a shitty gun, but he hands it to me, and
Pointing it at you?
and I do gun safety check. So first thing I do is cock it. 9mm round goes flying, and I said, "Did you hand me this shit loaded?" And you'll clip out at least. But he hands me this shit. He hands me this shit, and then I go, bullet goes flying, and I go, "Yo," I'm like, "Don't." I was like, "Put these guns away. Put these guns
Yo,
away."
don't touch anything around me.
Like you're
Let's go into the other room.
Like you're way out of
Close
the
that.
game.
Close that drawer and let's go to another room.
And he's like, "Yo, it's not that big." I'm like, "Yo, like you handed me a loaded gun."
I mean, I don't have a problem with them making it more aggressive to get a gun.
Yeah, but everybody else does.
Everybody else does. See, but why does everybody have a problem with that?
Because
so if
the
you're
NRA
a crazy
has-
person,
It's
why
not
do
even,
you need
it's
to
not
have
even
a gun?
It's not even everybody else. It's our politicians. The NRA owns them, and that's both sides, Democrats and Republicans. I don't give a fuck who they are.
I
NRA
don't know, I
runs
don't
this
know why
country.
someone would care unless they would be affected.
Bro, you need to
But
do.
most people that I know that care aren't affected.
You need to do.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
what I'm
It's
saying?
weird. It's weird.
Most people that I know that really care about that, I think it's more like they're just following like politics, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
party line.
I'm like, dude, I'm like, why do you care if you don't have a problem? Like, I don't really care if no one. Sorry, you can't get it. Sorry, bud.
would you want your bipolar friend to be able to carry without any training? It doesn't. Like, is that not just basic common sense?
I think you're just asking for more people to carry, more reason for cops to be even more worried when they pull people over.
Oh shit! I didn't even think that far.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be a bunch of
think
dudes
about
with
that.
straps.
Think about that. Like more people with more people with guns is more dangerous for cops. Like, and love them or hate them, they already got a pretty fucking dangerous job. And now more people are going to be strapped. Road rage is going to be a lot fucking more crazy and violent with guns if more people have guns. Like, there's going to be like trickle down effects from this. I just don't think it's as
You
simple
partake in road rage?
Do I partake in road rage? No. Not anymore.
No, honestly.
No, not anymore.
After this, or like for a while now?
For a while.
Okay.
But
Like, I might drive aggressive, but I'm not like throwing my car at people, and I'm not.
No, I don't do any of that.
I'm not
because
screaming at people and flicking people
You know what
off,
made-
and I'm
you-
not opening the door or nothing.
you know
like
what made
that.
me stop? All like
A gun to
getting
your fucking nose?
no, only in Dade and all those things like that when they show the people with the gun, and I'm like, fucking, you don't even know who has it.
That's what Das
And
tells me all
that's
the time.
before this. So
When I-
now I have the windows up and I just curse, but they can't hear me. They can't see me.
No, I might like pull up like.
No, I don't
aggressive
even.
and
No,
shit,
I
but
don't
I'm
even
not-
do that.
But I'm not saying anything. I'm not.
When I curse people out and I
got limo
and I
tints, don't
flash
talk to me.
them and I'm like and I what the fuck them, Das is always like, stop that. She's like, you never know. Like these people are crazy. Like they might
That is
pull.
true,
They might, and
and
she's
you gotta
right.
start thinking that way.
She's
'cause
right.
But you've always had to think that way. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I feel you, but it's gonna. You don't feel it's gonna get worse. You think it's gonna be exactly the same. You think there's gonna be no change whatsoever.
I don't think there's going to be no change. I think there will be a change, but I think that if you
You think
weren't,
it'll be a positive change.
I just don't know why you wouldn't think like that previously. Why is it that now everyone's worried about it now when you should have been worried about it before?
You know where you know where I see.
I was worried about it before.
and I didn't think about this because like
I
you
think
know
people follow the laws. I think the law-abiding citizens that buy a gun at Bass Pro Shop or wherever the fuck they buy a gun, and they wait for 3 or 4 days for their background check, or 5 days, and they wait, or 7 days, whatever it is, depending on the gun, and they wait and they get their gun, they follow the rules.
No,
No, that's
that's
bullshit.
for one of the shootings.
I have a really
that's why
good
Bass
friend.
Pro doesn't.
I have a
that's
really
why
good
Bass
friend.
Pro doesn't.
I have a family
or
friend.
Dick's
that I'm not
doesn't
gonna
have
say
it.
His name, but he works in the tow truck business, and I know for a fact that he doesn't allow at all, and he'll fire them if he sees one of his tow truck drivers with a gun in the truck, because it's illegal in the state of Florida for a tow truck driver to have a gun. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so if he finds one of his boys has a gun, yo, he's kicking him out. You're fired. I'm not losing my license.
Well,
We're
no,
getting fined.
but that's different. That makes sense.
I feel you. But I know a lot of people in Florida that would say, fuck that license. It's my life, yo.
That's why Dick's doesn't.
And doing
sell
repos in
guns.
Florida is no fucking joke.
You know how bugged out it was that when I worked for State Farm, my last years I was mobile. So although I spent most of the time at the courthouse, a lot of times they'd be like, "Oh, we have to serve somebody with paperwork or whatever." So if I was en route, they would send me wherever in Dade, right, dude. In that job, I saw all these neighborhoods that I would never see otherwise. So they sent me to the middle of the hood. They sent me to the middle of Brownsville, Miami Gardens,
Coke and
Opelika,
beans.
Florida City, you name it. Every bad neighborhood in Miami, I was there. So, but guess what? The rule was I couldn't have shit to protect myself. I could have pepper spray. And I was like, so someone has an AK-47 in Brownsville, I'm gonna pepper spray them.
No, the thing is, you got to give them the pepper spray. Like, yo, try this. Look, I'm going to test it out on myself.
I mean, I guess on my take is that I always thought defensively. I still do.
Have you been carrying?
No,
Are you more likely or less likely to carry now?
less. I mean, not
Same.
Nothing can change for
Nothing
you.
changes for me.
So you touched on cops,
But I'm not more. I'll put it like that.
They finally hooked up.
Nothing has changed for me, but it's definitely not. I'm more likely. I'm not less likely either, but I'm not more likely to carry.
It's gonna be crazy for cops because if once the law goes into effect and they're gonna be I think that there's gonna be at least a decent percentage of more people carrying. So imagine like your average traffic stop where it's like, are there
Do you
any
agree with that or disagree with that?
What?
That more people in general are going to carry now? Or do you think less people are going to carry
JP,
now?
you don't have to go through any of the hassle to get the license. You could just cop and tote. You could go to the gun show, buy it, pick it up, and then tote.
You could do a private sale and have one tomorrow.
But
Yeah.
Because I could buy a gun legally in the state of Florida. You and I come to an accord. We sign on a piece of paper that I bought this for X amount of dollars. You know me. You know I'm not going to do any ill will or harm or anything. And I can buy that gun off of you today. And that's a legal transaction.
Yeah.
I don't have to report that or register that anywhere.
Crazy.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
It doesn't have to be notarized.
No, what I was telling him is I know.
That goes back to like
I
old.
I know more than a handful of people that have stuff like that.
Yeah, unregistered
already.
guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That they've purchased from very shady locations.
Yeah, they bought off of friend of a friend of a friend of a
So
friend.
what? They
of a
got
friend.
bodies on them and still look new.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't necessarily think that a normal person that's what I mean by normal person is I mean someone that not that not bipolar, doesn't have any emotional issues or anything. I don't necessarily think that they would just start caring because there's no law. Like I have no. For me, it makes no difference. Like I'm not gonna start caring because they allow me to do that. I'm like, great. Like if they make cocaine legal, I'm not gonna go snort cocaine. Like, I'm just saying. I'm just giving it
because of the increase, because of what I think would be an increase. That's something that you touched on about the traffic stops. Now, can you imagine if let's say a cop pulls over, has 20 traffic stops in a week, and one out of the 20 says, do you have a gun or any gun or drug in the car? And one out of the 20. Now imagine you do 20 traffic stops and 12 of the 20 have a gun. Dude, that changes the whole
Even if it's 4
shit.
or 5,
That
just stress.
It's not, and even if you're someone that's
That's
law
just added
abiding,
stress.
even if you're someone that's law abiding, that changes the whole energy of a traffic stop.
Bro.
They're not gonna shoot the shit with you.
Bro,
when
shut
you,
the fuck
so
up,
you
and then
already-
change the whole dynamic.
yeah.
And then now it's nighttime. It's 3:00 in the morning when the stop happens.
Ugh.
But hold on.
Ugly.
Regardless of whether the
carry
guy
in your
looks like
car
you
now.
or me.
Yeah.
When you had one, did you carry in your car?
Always.
I guess I'm fucking weird. I don't know. I have no reason.
You just have them in your house.
I just have it in the house. Yeah.
So you're just ready for World Wars.
Well, Das hates that.
The
Das
Civil
hates
War.
it, and I just tell her, you know what? I have a friend who's a little older than me, and he's always carried. And I used to give him shit. I said, yo, like it comes off like you're paranoid, and he's like, yo, he's been in the wrong place, wrong time when he was young and shit like that. And he's like, what life has taught me, it's even if I never use it and I don't even want to use it, he's like, but I'd rather have it than not.
Yeah,
So
we have
like we
someone in our family. I'm not gonna name what family member, but we have someone in our family like that. He all the time.
my friend, we were like shopping for Black Friday, and we were like at Macy's in the falls, and he's like, he's toting, and I'm like, what are we gonna do? And he's like, yo, you never know, Black Friday gets crazy. And so I used to give him shit but then it's just like when you see the world,
So
like
you're walking out of Best Buy with a PS5 and fucking
you see how
CB4.
you see how crazy the world has gotten since COVID. In COVID, when we were in the house, and then we were like, yo, you never knew what was gonna happen. It got me double on just having in my house, having mad ammo, because you just never know. Like,
Yeah.
and I
ammo.
But it took
ammo.
COVID for you to think like that,
it because
or did COVID just mean that
He
you
was
were,
too young for Y2K.
you were
No.
you? But no, I'm saying like were you home, like the whole that was it that you were just home and now on your phone more, and people are sharing more stuff. I mean, I don't feel that. I feel like this has always been the same issue.
I got
Forever.
I got my
You were always worried about zombies.
I'm not really worried about zombies.
I got my
I'm more worried
permit.
about ghosts.
I got my
Purge.
I'm more worried about
The
ghosts.
Purge.
I got my permit and my first gun way before COVID. So, but like I think in COVID, when the world was kind of like, it seemed like it was falling apart, and while we were in the house, like I was a little concerned just because you just never know. Like you just never know. But what you're saying, I'm not discounting that, where when you're home and you don't have shit to do and you're just exposed to more media, that could absolutely affect the way that you feel or affect your fear, but again, we're all starting from a base of me being a law-abiding citizen. I'm not out here to be tough. I'm not out here trying to shoot anybody, but I'll be damned if anything does happen and I ain't got that shit. That's really what it boils down to.
Remember that. You pull up on Pat, you're gonna find out.
Keep that thing on me.
I mean, I don't know. I grew up in
the mean streets of 117.
no. I'm saying like my dad used to collect guns, and then
So did my uncle.
yeah, But my dad probably had more than him.
Funny enough, my dad's a military vet, and he never. I don't think he never showed me a gun in the house.
My dad has a similar sickness that I do, and we just like to collect shit. So when we get into something, we get into shit, you know?
Yeah.
So he used to collect them, and I remember he would go to, I remember him previously, he would live in Amaretto, and in the garage, I remember going there in the morning, he would go to the gun range, he would shoot the gun, and then he would clean it afterwards. And I remember watching him clean it and stuff like that. I've always grew up around them, but even someone like him, he never carried it.
No, my dad was always super. He still is super anti-guns, super anti. You don't need them. You're not a bad guy. This ain't the Wild West.
My dad has nothing now. He sold all of them when my brother was born. We're 14 years apart, and someone broke into his house and took some of them. The one that's right there by Arvida took some of them, and that's what made him realize he was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna sell them all." And he sold all of them.
But I will say this, guys. I totally believe, and that's why, again, like, I am definitely not on some like tough guy shit, because I think the main reason why I don't carry every day, I have a like my one of mine is made for carrying. I have a holster, the whole thing, and it's pretty comfortable. But the whole thing is that I feel like when you're carrying, it brings a different energy. It's almost like you invite it. You know what I mean? If somebody cuts you off, or somebody bumps into you, or someone looks at your girl's ass or whatever, and you're just,
Or if someone slaps you.
yeah, and you're without,
If
like,
someone slaps you.
you run.
Someone walks up to you and slaps you, you're going to fucking deck them.
You're gonna fight.
Right.
But if I
you have
happen
that
to
gun,
carry and somebody
right,
slaps me,
you're pulling your gun out.
They might die.
And if they charge at you, you're going to kill them. No?
Someone just walks up to you and slap you?
I don't know. You don't know if you're getting
Mistaken
jumped.
identity, that shit happens.
You don't know if you're getting jumped.
Yo, Sergio, I don't want to say all Spanish guys look the same, but there's a lot of people that have your look, the beard and the bald head.
Excuse me. But do they pull it off? You're never worried about getting slapped? You got to fucking protect your neck. Protect.
I'm not walking around being like,
No.
someone's going to slap me today.
No, I'm not waiting for
your
that or
neck.
looking for that. But yo, Miami got crazy people, man.
I'm not saying people aren't
Miami
crazy.
got crazy people.
I'm not saying they're not crazy at all.
Everywhere.
I'm actually not saying that you should or shouldn't carry it. I just, me personally, I don't feel that because this is available, I'm going to do it. Like I just.
But that's exactly my point, JP. So I said the main
That's
reason
you.
why I don't always have it, the main reason I don't always have it, and I don't have it on my body, is that, yo, like you invite a certain energy.
You have it on you now
No, I don't.
in the car.
I didn't even take it in the car because I'm coming here.
Just come
Trust
to
you
a safe
guys.
space.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
You know? Now I know I can slap them.
Yo, JP's a devil advocate to the core, huh? JP's like, yo, he's like, I'm safe.
Listen, Will Smith. Nobody's slapping anybody, okay? Calm the fuck down.
We got parents.
Calm the fuck down. Yeah, you got parents.
Yeah, we got parents.
That was the best way to end that skit. Why didn't you hit him back? Because I have fucking parents that told me never fight in front of white people.
Well, I think on a lighter note, we could wrap the episode up with that.
Yo, and honestly, I don't even think that was heavy. Like, and we try to keep it. We try to keep it a little light.
Don't start
because
apologizing.
no, we're not
Don't be a bitch.
apologizing.
Don't be a bitch.
It's
Moral of the story: you fuck around with Pat, you gonna find out.
no.
That's the moral of the story in the state of Florida.
Doubters.
Right now. State of Florida. You fuck around, you gonna find out.
The doubters.